following is a special Wayne Hills television sports presentation.
After a hard-fought victory over the crosstown rival Wayne Valley, Hills will look to continue their success against the Highwaymen of Teaneck. Will the Patriots be able to bounce back after injuries to star running backs Brian Dowling and Troy Zaffino? Can Kevin Olson continue his progression towards stardom? Will the defensive line be able to continue dominating the line of scrimmage? The Patriots will try to keep up the intensity that was fueling the offense against Wayne Valley tonight against the Highwaymen of Teaneck. This is Patriot football.
Hello and welcome to Patriot Stadium for today's 2010 high school football matchup between your Wayne Hills Patriots and the Teaneck Highwaymen. I'm John Vittas alongside Joe Rapp and Anthony Scudillo. So guys, coming off the huge win from Valley last week right here at Patriot Stadium, Wayne Hills is going to have to refocus for a very tough Teaneck team. Joe, how do you get last week's game out of your mind and focus for this one?
Well, John, we know it was a very important game, but you got to remember it's only one game. So they won the game, they got to forget about it, and they got to move on to the next game because they got a very tough schedule the next few games versus Rampo and St. Joe's at the end of the season.
Now, Anthony, one thing that a lot of people are probably concerned about is this Wayne Hills offense. Starting a sophomore quarterback, the star Brian Dowling really wasn't able to get anything going last week on the ground, and Kevin has not been completely on target this year. And going against a solid defense tonight, what are your concerns about Wayne Hills' offense, and what do you look to see them do tonight?
Well, John, I hope to see them run the ball a little bit. I mean, Brian Dowling did go out with an injury for a little bit, but, you know, the people that stepped in, Troy Zaffino, James Hogan, and Dom Santoro, were able, you know, to really pick up the pace for them. And Nick Massey also was in the running game, and he had a touchdown and a nice big run at the end of the game. If they can do that, they're going to leave the pass open. And, you know, Kevin, all he needs to do is work on the accuracy of his throws. He's just overthrowing players a little bit. It's not necessarily off target. It's just a little overthrown. So if he could, you know, get it just that much closer, he'll be able to throw the ball successfully.
In my mind, Wayne Hills doesn't lack any skill. To me, it comes down to the offensive line. They need to block better, and that would get the whole offense back on track. So, guys, going into this game, obviously Brian's coming off an injury, but who do you see tonight that needs to step it up for Hills to win?
Well, guys, I'm going to go with Nick Massey, number 2, the senior linebacker. If he sets the tone at the linebacker position, Teaneck's going to be scared to run the ball, pass the ball, to do anything.
John, I'm going to have to go with James Hogan. He got a lot of snaps last week. He's, you know, recovering off an off-season injury, and he's getting healthier and healthier every week. We saw he had a touchdown last week. In fact, he dove into the end zone, which was pretty dramatic towards the end of the game. So I see him having a rather large game today and getting a lot of the workload, not knowing how seriously Brian Dowling was injured, see how much he's going to play. I think James is going to pick up his slack.
Now, my guy is number 20, junior Troy Zaffino. He's going to be playing wide receiver on offense. I think he's going to need to make plays because last week Brian, like I said, was shut down, and Troy's a very dynamic player. He was cramping up a lot last week, so hopefully if he gets the ball tonight, he'll be able to do more with it. But defensively, he's going to be playing most of the night at safety, and this Teaneck team has a great wide receiver and a great running back, and if one of those guys are able to break it past the linebacker level, Troy's going to be that guy that has to make that touchdown-saving tackle and keep Teaneck off the board. But guys, last but not least, prediction for tonight's game.
Well, I think it's going to be a long game for Teaneck. I'm going to go with a blowout, 41-7 Wayne Hills.
Yeah, John, I honestly think it's going to be a blowout as well. I'm going to go with 27-7 Hills.
Now, a lot of Wayne Hills players are really talking this up. They really think this Teaneck team is going to give them quite a fight. They're 0-3. They lost to Clifton by 23. They lost to Ramapo by 15. And they got blown out against Bergen Catholic even worse. But Wayne Hills isn't going to take them for granted tonight. I'm going to have to agree with you guys. As much as the players think it's going to be a close game, I really don't think it will be. I'm going to go with a similar score to Anthony. I'm going to say 28-0 Wayne Hills. So I got a chance to catch up with Wayne Hills running back Brian Dowling after his gutsy performance against Wayne Valley.
Welcome to the second edition of the season. First of all, how are you?
I'm all right, doing better, steady doing better. Yeah, it was definitely an emotional win. It was a good win for everybody. We played 4 quarters and we were contested, and we came back and won, so that's going to help us in the long run.
Well, you were battling a lot of injuries in that game. I mean, people were calling you a warrior for that type of performance. They had the big kick return, of course, but the upper body injury, the head, neck, collarbone, cramping up, everything, what you want to call it. Are you ready to go against Teaneck full force, 100%?
Yeah, I'll be 100% this week. I think it was just, that Friday, that Saturday, it was a little shaky. Monday, I took it easy. Monday and Tuesday, I took it easy in practice. So, I'm sure, Coach will limit it down a little bit just because, you don't want to do anything stupid in the long run. But I should be 100% playing on every snap.
Now, looking back at that game, that was a game for the ages. It was just Valley gave you another really tough game. And you guys were able to pull it out in the fourth quarter with 2 touchdowns in 39 seconds. It was one of the most exciting games I've ever seen. And looking at a team like this, a lot of guys starting for the first time, what does a win like that do to unite the locker room and bring everyone together?
I mean, it really got everybody going. And, a good thing was, like I said, we were contested early. And you're going to be contested later in the season, and you're going to be contested in the playoffs. And, that just helps. And, after looking at the film, we realized that a lot of that game was, that game could have been a 35-3 game, and we made some mental mistakes at the 1-yard line twice, missing blocks, missed 2 field goals. We gave up on some bad opportunities, but, you got to go through that stuff to be able to make it in the end because, in states in the playoffs, it's not going to be easy.
You talked about getting stuffed inside the 5 twice on 4th down. Those were 2 big opportunities where you came away with nothing. Looking at the offense, I mean, they scored 14 points last week.
Mm-hmm.
Other than your kick return, they pretty much stopped you for the most part. I mean, Kevin was a little inaccurate. That could have been due to nerves, but scoring 14 points against Valley and really not hitting that 50 mark other than Eastside so far.
Mm-hmm.
The offense is a little bit of a question mark. I mean, you guys really had to feed off turnovers last week. Are you concerned about this offense going forward as you play the good teams like St. Joe's and Ramapo who aren't going to turn the ball over?
I wouldn't say we're so much concerned because I personally think that, we got screwed on a spot at the 1. When I went up and over, I jumped from the 3-yard line, and then they still spotted the ball at the 3. So that should be a first down, and we score there. One of those calls, I mean, you're going to tell me that all 4 of those weren't in. I think we kind of got screwed towards the other goal line, too. So I'm not really worried. Our team this year, though, is more of, we're gonna go on drives. Last year, Michael Quinn, one of the best quarterbacks in the state, there's a big play on any play. And, that's what Wayne Hills has lived off of over the years, big plays, special team plays when Danny was here, kick returns, punt returns, big plays. So our team this year, we're more of a, we're gonna grind you down 7 to 8 play drives, and, and when the big one comes, the big one comes.
Now looking to Teaneck specifically, from what I've heard, they have an excellent wide receiver and an excellent running back. Defensively, you guys have had a great season, as always. I mean, really shutting everybody down. What are you worried about with those guys, and how are you planning to defend them?
We got to wrap up number 12. No, I think his name is Devon Williams. He's a good running back, but you know what? Last year he had an even better first few games, and we ended up, holding our own against him. I think he had like 50 yards or something like that. Number 1 burnt us a few times last year. Got some plays called back, so he's a threat on the, on special teams too. You kind of want to kick the ball away from him. So those 2 guys are their playmakers, and if you narrow them down, you hold them to minimal gains, you should win the football game.
Now, people talking about Teaneck, they're 0-3. You look at their games so far, they've gotten blown out. They lost by Ramapo to 15, but they got blown out against Bergen Catholic and blown out against Clifton, which I don't even know if Clifton's that good. But you guys are talking them up. You're saying it's not going to be an easy game. How important is it to get Valley out of your head and refocus for this game?
Oh, we definitely got to refocus because that, like I said, that team's got athletes. They may not be coached that well, but, they got athletes, so they can score at any time, 0-3. I mean, Ramapo, they played them tight. That's the defending Group 3 state champions. And, Bergen Catholic wasn't as much of a blowout as people, may look at the score 50-12. But, yeah, they were 14-7, I think, in the third quarter or so, second quarter, you know. So it was tight in the beginning, and they can play, you know. And if you let them sit there and play with confidence to 2 or 3 quarters, you know, they'll be there in the end. So I think it's, you know, we got to start it up early and finish them by the third quarter.
So real quick, will we see the black jerseys against Teaneck?
Yeah, I think we'll be using that black again.
All right, we'll be back with the kickoff. Wayne Hills, Teaneck, after this.
Low snap, it's one off. Fournier escapes the pressure, flushes down the pocket, looks deep down the field, intercepted by Wayne Hill across the 40-yard mark, near sideline. Oh, my huge block inside the 40. Safino wide in the at the 38-yard line. Wayne Hills will take over in Valley territory with 5 minutes to go. What a block! Wow, that was done. That was incredible. It looked like it was Joe Lane, 64 on the block. We're gonna see it here. Troy comes to the side. Oh my! Oh, that is incredible. That is a block for the. Oh my God! Oh my! Oh my God! I don't know how to describe that. Well, like we said, a turnover would be big. Look! Oh my God! What a hit! What a hit! Boom! It was Joe Lane. Joe Lane on the hit. Oh wow! The hockey teammates making it happen. Hand up the middle. There's a hole into the secondary. 10, 5, touchdown! Wayne Hill piling it on, and it's down 20-10. Back here live at Patriot Stadium as you see the Teaneck marching band with their pregame performance. But guys, last week we had an instant classic here at Patriot Stadium. Wayne Hills defeating Wayne Valley 21-16. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that classic from last Friday night. We're going to pick things up here early in the first quarter and take a look as Brian Dowling is going to get inside the 5 and leap toward that pylon. He would go down on his head, as you see here, landing on that upper body, and he would be banged up for the rest of the game. On 4th and 1 on the same drive, James Hogan gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage, and the early momentum goes to the Indians. But Peter Davies lights up Andrew Fournier in the end zone. Valley fortunate to avoid the safety, and Hill steals that momentum right back as you see Davies making it 3 for 3 on opposing quarterbacks this year. He basically injured all 3, and here's a punt from Wayne Valley, almost blocked, and Brian's gonna field it from his own 43, and he shakes and bakes and takes out a few defenders, gets away from the initial wrap-up, and gets all the way down inside the 35. And now Matt Dietz off of the Wayne Valley field goal. The return goes to Dowling, and he is going to weave through that Valley defense, find a hole, shake off some defenders, and take it all the way to the house as Hills takes the lead 7-3 in the second quarter. And on the ensuing kickoff, Wayne Valley's Mike Farrelly will return the favor as he plays a little monkey see, monkey do, as Valley's going to take the lead right back from Hills as you see Varelli get past Eugene Lowe, the last line of defense, and take it all the way into the end zone. And just like that, Valley goes back on top by 3. And that would be the score at the halftime break. And now Kevin Olson's pass deep down the right sideline is going to be complete to Troy Zaffino, and that really got Wayne Hills. Wayne Hills' throwing game back on track. And now another attempt into the end zone is successful this time. 3rd time's the charm as James Hogan dives across the goal line to give Wayne Hills the huge lead in the 4th quarter. And this was the turning point of the game. Andrew Fournier rolling out, throwing it down the field, and Troy Zaffino with the interception. And watch the 2 hits, folks. Here they come. Joe Lane laying out Mike Miller. Nick Massey laying out Greg Leneve. And Troy Zaffino takes it down inside the Valley 40-yard line. And Hills was in business to add some insurance. As you see Troy coming across the field, and there's the hit from Lane. Oh boy. And on the very next play, they're going to give the fullback dive to Nick Massey, who gets through the secondary and into the end zone. And at that point, Hills was piling it on with 2 touchdowns in just 39 seconds. They go up by 2 scores, but Andrew Fournier would lead the Indians right back. Here he comes scrambling, eludes pressure, tiptoes down that sideline, gets a couple blocks, and is finally going to be taken down by Zaffino inside the Hills 20. That would lead, as you see the replay, Fournier doing a great job of getting through that Wayne Hills defenses. Mike Drees got blocked pretty good over there. And Fournier sets up Valley and gives them a little bit of life, as the ensuing play will be a little draw inside to Mike Fusco, who gets into the end zone for the score, and Valley cuts it right back to one possession. As Fournier is looking to throw, I'm sorry, that was the backup quarterback, Eckroat, and he's going to chuck it down the field, and it's going to be batted away and incomplete, and that would just about do it, as Wayne Hills beats Wayne Valley by a score of 21-16 in one of the best games we've seen, guys.
Yeah, John, I mean, there was so much to look at from that game. I mean, Wayne Hills had to bounce back off of injuries to Brian Dowling, Troy Zaffino. I mean, everybody was really going down that game, including guys for Wayne Valley. So it was interesting to see how those players, stepped up in a big game, and it was proven that Dom Santoro, Nick Massey, and James Hogan were able to do it.
Like you said, John, it was an instant classic. I mean, Wayne Hills, they just kept fighting back. They never lost their faith to win the game, and they won it.
I mean, there's a lot of things we will remember from that game, whether it was the defense playing stout, the back-to-back kickoff returns from both teams, or Brian Dowling battling injuries the whole night. I mean, the feeling I'm not going to forget is when he walked back on that field early in the third quarter after everyone assumed he was done for the game. Hills was losing by 3, and he walks on that field. Even though he wasn't 100%, there was a buzz about the stadium when he stepped between those white lines, and it's something I'm never going to forget. And he led that team back from behind to get the win. So we'll be back with this week's game, Wayne Hills and Teaneck, after this. Hello and welcome back to Patriot Stadium, as Mr. Mezzi has the opening lineups for us tonight. Well, there you see the starting lineups for Wayne Hills. They've named 12 guys in the starting lineup, but let's go back up to the booth for today's national anthem. Well, there you have it, tonight's national anthem and starting lineups brought to you by the one and only Mr. Mezzi. So, guys, Hill's coming into the game at 3-0. They had 2 easy wins to start things off against Hackensack and Eastside in Patterson. And last week, of course, as we already showed, the classic against Wayne Valley, 21-16. They go into this game, they're focused. I mean, talking to kids all week, they're not taking Teaneck lightly. They keep telling us this is a good team, this is a great team. They have big D1 players, but this team's 0-3. So what do you expect to see from Teaneck tonight?
Well, John, I mean, you're right. Hills has been talking up Teaneck like they're a 3-0 team rather than 0-3. They say their position players are extremely skilled, and I think it's good that they're not underestimating them, because if they do that, you've seen what happens. I mean, just like last year, they underestimated Wayne Valley and they only won by 7. So, I mean, I think they're taking the right approach and not underestimating their competitor.
I mean, guys, despite Teaneck's record, Wayne Hill's not going to take Teaneck lightly. They will never take a game likely like this. I mean, like you said, Anthony, they do have a lot of skill players, and they got to watch out for them. They can't allow Teaneck to score early and get their confidence up.
As you see the captains meeting at midfield, the captains for the Teaneck Highwaymen, Anthony Upshaw, Nate Lear, Zach Preschel, and Greg Garner. The guys out there for Hills are James Hogan, Brian Dowling, Nick Massey, and I believe Eugene Lowe. So it looks like Wayne Hills is going to return the opening kick. As there you see Coach Olson in, I believe, his 27th year at the helm of Wayne Hills football. He's been here through everything, through the years when they've been bad, the years where they've lost several years in a row in the state championship, then, of course, all the championships, and then, of course, the collapse last year, if we can call it a collapse. But Joe Rapp's informing me he's been the coach for 25 years, not 27, but it's a long time, way before any of us were born.
Well, I was there. I don't know about you guys. I knew it was 25 for a reason.
Joe is the Messiah. It looks like Hills is deferred to the second half. They're going to kick it off.
My mistake.
Simple mistake.
As you see, a lot of the Wayne Hills players wearing the pink tape tonight for breast cancer awareness. As we get the thumbs up from Mr. Hogan. That means we're allowed to start. 12-minute quarters in high school football as Mike Drees tees it up. The kid has been almost automatic on touchbacks this year. He's been great as he's going to bounce this one, trying to use the slick turf. It's going to be fielded at the 10-yard line. Getting across the 20 is the return man, and he slides down at the 27-yard line, maybe the 28, and that's where Teaneck will start their drive. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Wayne Hills defense.
Peter Davies, number 40, defensive end. Justin Avdisian, number 70, D tackle.
Roberto Alvarez, number 72, defensive end.
Joe Lane, number 64, defensive end. Russell Pekarsky, number 7, outside linebacker.
Nick Massey, number 2, inside linebacker.
Jimmy Kenny, number 32, linebacker.
Dom Santoro, number 23, outside linebacker.
Brian Dowling, number 9, defensive back.
Troy Zafino, number 20, D-back.
Michael Drees, number 28, D-back.
So Wayne Hills' defense has only allowed, by my count, 9 points this season, taking away the 7 off of Valley's kick return last year. So 9 points in 3 games. That is unbelievable. Flags fly. The quarterback drops the snap, possibly a wet ball, as we'll wait to see the flag. But, guys, last 2 days, it's been pouring. We've survived the monsoon. The sun even poked out a little bit before game time. So the weather shouldn't be a direct factor in this game, but the turf is certainly wet.
Yeah, John, this has been an eventful week at Wayne Hills. I mean, earlier in the week, there was the second bomb scare of the year. And then today.
So it's not the first time we've sat in the bleachers this week.
it was not. And then today they shut down the parking lot for a little bit because it flooded. So
it's going to be playing football on slip and slide, basically.
Nate Lear, the quarterback for Teaneck, in the shotgun, two backs flanking him. Hills shows pressure. They send some guys up the middle. It's going to be a run to the left. Not much doing there, so it's going to set up a 3rd and long.
I mean, guys, you've seen Teaneck start with a shotgun in the first 2 plays. You can already see an intimidation factor by the Wayne Hills defensive line, trying to give their Teaneck quarterback a lot of room to operate.
Well, Wayne Hills' defense has not dropped off at all this year. They've been fantastic, no matter how you cut it. I mean, Wayne Valley's offense was supposed to be pretty decent with Fournier and Varelli and Leneve. They were, and even Miller coming in. They were supposed to put some points up against Hills, and they weren't able to do too much of that, as they only got 9 points on Wayne Hills. As you see, one of the players hustling off the field. Lear rolls to his right, looks to throw, pass incomplete. They want a flag on Dowling, but they're not going to get it, as Brian had some contact there with the receiver, but they're going to rule the pass well over the receiver's head. That was intended for Tyreek Harrison, who is the highly talented wide receiver from Teaneck, who everyone's been talking about this week.
Yeah, I mean, we talked in the week earlier to Brian Dowling, and he said the one person to watch out for was him. So, I mean, they go early and often to him.
Nivon Williams is the other man to look out for. That's the running back number 12. So Williams and Harrison will carry the load. As we saw with Kamal Hogan and Kai Dominguez, we were kind of looking out for the wide receiver as the snap goes way over the punter's head. He's going to try to kick it, and he does. Gets it away. Not that bad of a recovery. Fielded on a hop by Dowling. He's going to get across the 50 and take it down at the 45-yard line. So as we see the Wayne Hills offense take the field, let's meet them.
Jake Schonke, number 76, offensive tackle.
Sam Schultz, 52, guard. Steve Ifkov, number 69, offensive center.
Jason Avdisian, number 75, offensive tackle.
Casey Cardux, number 79, tackle. Peter Davies, number 40, tight end.
Kevin Olson, number 19, quarterback. Brian Dowling, number 9, running back.
James Hogan, number 3, wide receiver.
Troy Zafino, number 20, wide receiver.
Michael Dries, number 28, receiver.
Eugene Lowe, number 5, wide receiver.
So Kevin Olson takes the field in his 4th career start for Wayne Hills. He hasn't done too bad coming in the first 3 games. Hasn't blown anyone away so far, but hasn't lost them any games, that's for sure. As there's going to be a flag on Wayne Hills, it's going to be a false start there. Didn't see any obvious movement, but someone definitely flinched. So they'll back it up 5 yards, 1st and 15. Because I was mentioning before we threw it to the lineups, Kai Dominguez and Kamal Hogan, running back, wide receiver that everyone were talking about last year. Teaneck comes in with same thing, running back, wide receiver. But to me, it's going to be up to the quarterback, Nate Lear, to get the job done, because we saw O'Connor get the job done for St. Joe's last year, and he was just good enough to get that win with all the talent around him. So Olson's going to go play action, roll to his weak side, looks deep down the field. He's got a man wide open. It looks like Lowe, and Eugene makes the catch inside the 10-yard line. So Kevin Olson going down the field on the first play from scrimmage, and Hills is set up with the 1st and goal.
Yeah, John, Eugene Lowe was calling for the ball early there. He beat his man, and nobody covered him. You know, that's not something you want to do very often, but he was wide open. If Kevin had actually let him a little more, he might have had a touchdown, but that's a nice pass. That's, again, not overthrowing the receiver there.
Basically, that play gives Kevin a boatload of confidence for the rest of the game, guys.
I mean, that's definitely going to set the tone and settle him into this game. I'm sure there's not nearly as many nerves as there was last week, and I think Kevin's pretty much over that now in his 4th game. He knows what to expect. Incomplete pass intended for, I believe, Mike Dries. I'm sorry, that was Lowe again. As Olson's gone to Eugene quite a bit this year, as that pass was just a little bit too far out in front of Eugene. But, I mean, there's not much of a crowd here tonight compared to Valley last. I mean, there's probably 1 fan here for every 6 fans at the Valley game last week.
It was something special last week.
So, I formation, handoff up the middle to Dowling, getting inside the 5, and he's in. Touchdown, Brian Dowling, and Hills goes up 6-0 after just 3 plays from scrimmage.
John, I mean, that was 3 plays. You're right. I mean, that was so fast. It was scary. I have a feeling it's gonna be a long one tonight.
We might see it some more of that tonight. I don't know about you guys.
Well, Dowling with the 9-yard touchdown run, and Hills goes up 7-0, not even 2 minutes into this game. And don't forget, Hills already got a 3-and-out, so they didn't even start with the ball, and they scored with less than 2 minutes into the first quarter. Mike Drees' extra point is good. So I jumped the gun a little bit saying it was 7-0, but now it's 7-0. As there you see the touchdown man, Brian Dowling, coming off his strong run up the middle as he gets Dom Santoro pumped up. But guys, as I was mentioning before the touchdown, this might be the first week we see Kevin Olson in his comfort zone. I mean, this is the first week there's not a lot of pressure on him. The first week where it's not, his first couple starts of his career. He's kind of settled in. He's gotten his team that 3-0 record, a 3-0 record they were looking for on his home turf. There's nothing to be nervous about tonight, and I'm sure Kevin's not nervous at all. So we finally will probably get to see his full potential tonight.
Yeah, John, his first test was Wayne Valley. That was the first real team that put up a fight. And, he didn't have a stellar game. He did have a few nice passes towards the end of the game. He struggled in the beginning, but we see early here tonight, he makes a fantastic throw to Eugene Lowe. I mean, he's going to have the ability to really throw the ball tonight, not only off the play-action pass, which is one of my favorite things, but just in the shotgun because, I have a feeling it's going to be a long one.
Well, Anthony, the biggest thing you said there was he made passes toward the end of the game against Valley because Hills' offense was not doing very much. The only 7 points on the board for them was Dowling's kickoff return, so they didn't even have an offensive score until the fourth quarter. But Kevin made some big clutch passes down the stretch as Drees' kick is going to be a touchback. That was 4 or 5 yards deep into the end zone. So Mike Drees continues his kicking dominance off the tee.
Yeah, but he's got to start making some field goals, John. He missed a few last week at Wayne Valley. It could have been detrimental to him. It was only a 5-point game.
Yeah, the Hills won by 5, but they left a lot of points on the board last week. Drees missed 2 field goals, and they got stopped at the goal line twice, and that's 20 points that Hills left on the board last week. But luckily for them, they were able to battle through it and come out with a win. So Lear in the shotgun again, 2 receivers set, looks to his right, deep down the field. The receiver had his man beat, but Dowling is there and it's caught. And say goodnight to Tyreek Harrison, who goes up over the top and takes the ball away from Dowling and goes all the way in for the score. Just like that, Teaneck pulls even with Wayne Hills.
Just looked like Brian gave up on the play. I don't understand that.
It looked like he was in position, jumped up, and the other player just jumped higher than him.
Wow, what a play by Tyreek Harrison. I don't think we've seen a talent like that come into play Wayne Hills this year. That was Kai Dominguez-esque.
Ooh, you stole my word. I was just about to say it.
I mean, the only thing I could think of for Brian was coming out of Lear's hand. That looked like a weak pass. He drastically underthrew Harrison, and Dowling was there waiting, but the ball just kind of carried a little bit too much, and Harrison had more height on his jump. As that kick is ugly. Didn't even reach the crossbar. So it's 7-6 Wayne Hills. They'll hold on to that 1-point lead.
Dowling looked like he was arguing for the push after that play. I'm not sure if he's going to get that call many times, but it looked like that kick was blocked. By who, I'm not sure, but it definitely looked like it had some awkward spin on it.
They gave credit to James Hogan on that block. So Hogan making his presence felt on special teams. Of course, we saw him dive into the end zone for that huge go-ahead touchdown last week after he was stopped twice on 4th down. He finally got in on the 3rd time in the 4th quarter and gave Hills that lead.
Well, guys, I said my final score will be 41-7, but I guess there's no chance of that now.
Nope. Well, I said 27-7, so.
I said 28-0.
Yeah, we're closer than you are.
As soon as that came out of my mouth, I immediately regretted it, though.
Oh, man.
But at that point, I was already midway toward introducing Brian's interview, so I couldn't turn back.
Oh, man.
As you see Coach Olson coaching up his son there on the sidelines as we pan up to the 2 return men. As it looks like Dowling and Zaffino will get some duty on the return team. As guys, I have my glasses this week.
Yeah, thank you.
So I was able to see Troy.
We appreciate that.
My apologies to Nick Massey, who last week had a huge hit And on the next play, we had a 34-yard touchdown run. And through all that, I didn't mention his name because I couldn't tell who it was. I was a little excited. It's going to be taken up there across the 40. So I think that was Massey. So the squib backfires on Teaneck as Hills is getting a great field position at their own 40 or 41-yard line.
It almost looked like that was a onside kick for a second. That was.
I don't think it was, Anthony.
I know.
It's very early in the game for an
so
onside
strangely.
kick.
So with 9:47 to go, we've already seen 2 touchdowns. So
that's only the second touchdown defensively that the Hills has given up.
Defense has been pretty solid earlier in the year.
As boring as this scene indicates tonight, the game has been just the opposite so far. So Olsen's going to start out in the shotgun with 3 receivers, 2 to his left. Troy goes in motion, and they're going to go play action. Olsen is going to swing it to Dowling, gets across the 45, picks up a first down at the 50, and is finally taken down in Teaneck territory at the 46-yard line.
I mean, guys, all he has to do is cut the corner, and he'll have 15 more yards easy.
So Hills moves the chains on the first play of both their drives so far tonight as their offense looks sharp thus far. I formation for Wayne Hills. 2 receivers, going to be a handoff to Dowling up the middle, bounces it to the right, has room at the 35, and finally taken down across the 30 as it might have been a fumble, and they're going to unravel the pile.
Uh-oh.
That was about a 15-yard run from Dowling, and they're going to turn it over. So Brian coughs it up, and Teaneck is going to take over. Darian Miles with the recovery for Teaneck. So Teaneck getting to the line quickly. 5 receivers set for the quarterback as it's going to be a swing to the right. Pekarski gets sealed off, but the tackle is made there by, I believe, Massey. So a gain of 6 on the play for Teaneck as that was the receiver, Tyreek Harrison, coming over from his wide receiver position to get that run. So we're going to give him 7, and it's 2nd and 3 for Teaneck.
I don't think this is what Hills had originally anticipated in this game, a tie game with plenty of time in the first quarter.
Well, depending upon how well Lear plays tonight, this could be the best offense Hills has seen all year. I mean, Hackensack didn't have too much after their quarterback. And this team actually has guys to catch the ball as Lear is split out wide as a receiver. This is their 2nd straight play from the Wildcat as it's going to be a run to the left. It's a keeper by number 12, Navon Williams, the wide receiver. So they're going to be short of the first down. It's going to set up a 3rd and short. But, guys, Teaneck using their 2 best athletes in just about every way possible. And that's a very smart play from their coach.
I mean, when you have athleticism, like those 2 guys have, I would use them every play.
And that's what they're doing.
So they're taking my advice, is what you're saying.
Yep. 3rd and 1 for Teaneck. 2 receivers, I formation. Hills stacks the line. They put 6 men on the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a keeper. It'll be close as they try to push the pile, and they're going to give Teaneck the first down.
Looks like they got there, John.
They did get there. So Teaneck is going to move the chains as so far the offenses have ruled. First time we've seen that all year. As you see the Wayne Hills sidelines, Kevin Olsen was a kid in a sweatshirt one day.
Back in the day.
Back in the day is correct.
Not so long ago.
2 years ago, actually.
And now he's leading Wayne Hills as just a sophomore. So Hills looks to rush 6 again, and they come. Handoff up the middle. Teaneck picks up the block, and the runner gets inside for a gain of 4 on the play. That was Williams on the carry. So Navon Williams, the running back, getting the majority of the ball, of course, along with Harrison. So 2nd and 6 now for Teaneck from their own 43. Got to get to the 49. 6:51 to go in the opening quarter. 7-6 Wayne Hills on Brian Dowling's 9-yard touchdown run. So Teaneck consistently going with several wide receivers. One tight end in the lineup, Lear in the shotgun. I'm sorry, that's not Lear. That's Williams again out of the Wildcat. Handoff to the right. He's got room across the 40 and finally knocked out of bounds by Massey at the 30-yard line. Dowling wants a flag, but he's not going to get it. So another huge first down for Teaneck, and they're going to have a 1st and 10 from the Wayne Hills 30-yard line.
I guess Teaneck's come to play, guys.
That was number 2, Harold Clark. So a third weapon now for Teaneck, as Williams handed it off to Clark. I mean, who needs a quarterback when you have athletes like this?
I mean, we said earlier, their skill players are not to be underrated.
So, just as I say they don't need a quarterback, Lear comes back in, but they're going to go out of the Wildcat again, and it's a handoff up the middle this time. Clark somehow able to escape through that wall of defenders, and he's going to pick up 8 yards on the play. Maybe 7. So they're just going to stick with this Wildcat. And guys, I think from watching these opening plays, the speed of Wayne Hills linebackers is going to be tested tonight, as well as the health of Nick Massey and Russell Pekarski's knees, because they both had serious knee injuries last year, and they're both supposed to be 100% now, but I mean, we'll find out tonight, as Jimmy Kenny's also in there, and Dom Santoro. They're going to have to get out there in space and make tackles tonight. So Lear finally back under, well, not under center in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off up the middle. Not much there. That was Williams on the carry. Picked up 1, maybe 2. So it's going to be about 3rd and a long 1 for Teaneck from the Wayne Hills 22. So a huge play here for Wayne Hills.
Yeah, I mean, if they're able to get a stop here, they blocked the last field goal attempt, even though it was an extra point. So if they could get a stop here, we don't know how good the kicker is necessarily.
Well, this is a long kick for anyone, and especially on a wet turf. This is probably 4-down territory for Teaneck from the 22. I don't really see them trying any 40-yard field goals. It'd be about 39 or 40 from here.
I mean, John, we know Wayne Hills is going to score points, so they really can't afford just 3 points on a drive.
That's a good point, Joe. So again, the Wildcat, Nevon Williams is going to field the snap. 4 receivers going to look to go to his left. Hills linebackers come forward. Williams gets to the 20, and I think he has enough for the first down. So Williams did a good job of recognizing Hills' linebackers, trying to protect that sideline and not let Williams' speed get to that sideline. But Williams was able to cut back in and fall forward for a gain of 2 and a Teaneck first down. So as you see, 4:26 and counting in the first quarter. 1st and 10 from the 20 for Teaneck, as they've sustained a pretty long drive here, something we haven't seen too many teams do against Wayne Hills. 3 receivers set. And Williams fumbles the ball. It's picked up by Wayne Hills. Pekarski with the recovery, and he's dragging defenders to the 34-yard line. So a huge break for the Patriots, as they're going to take over off the fumble.
John, you saw there they were in the shotgun formation again. They looked like to give the inside handoff, and it was just muffed. Not able to hold on to it.
Well, maybe just a little too cute for Teaneck, as they've gone with that Wildcat time and time again on that drive. And eventually, when you have a running back handling the handoffs from the quarterback position, bad things are bound to happen. As Olsen's pass is incomplete, you're going to rule it a forward pass, so it'll be incomplete. Intended for Zaffino. As Lowe is out there blocking, Wayne Hills' best stalk blocker. And unfortunately, Kevin's pass was too high.
Sorry, John. We saw last week they tried to get this screen pass integrated into the offense early, and again, Troy Zaffino having trouble to catch the ball that's close to him. I mean, he was able to catch the deep ball last week. That wasn't a problem. Just the ones that are right at him.
Well, that was a high pass and not an easy catch with a wet ball. But Kevin's going to have to complete those. I formation, handoff up the middle. And Dowling has a hole at the 40. He breaks it at the 45 and taken down after picking up a first down. A 10-yard run for Brian Dowling, and Hills moves the chains. And guys, if Wayne Hills can continue to open holes for Brian Dowling, we either are going to be in store for a shootout or a big Wayne Hills win, because they're going to put up points if Brian Dowling gets holes like that.
Yeah, but John, Teaneck showed they could score points too.
That's what I'm saying. Could be a shootout or a blowout as Dowling with another huge hole and another first down.
Yeah, John, I think, like we said earlier, if Wayne Hills can establish the run, which it seems that they're going to be able to early, and we can get an defensive stop, which we did a few minutes before, Kevin's going to be able to throw the ball tonight, which I'm very interested in seeing.
Or Kevin's not going to have to throw the ball at all tonight, and we can just run it down their throats.
All of the above.
And, of course, if Hills goes out to a strong lead, as you see Russ Pekarski, who picked up that fumble and ran with it, if Hills puts up a lot of points and really picks up a huge lead, we could see Kevin air it out and Wayne Hills open up the playbook. It's going to be a handoff to Dowling again. Another huge hole inside the 40. Didn't get the first down this time, but he picks up 8 yards.
We might see that the rest of the drive. I don't know. I'm going to call, since I'm a king at calling plays, Anthony, it's going to be another draw to Brian. I'm just saying.
Play action pass.
No, you love the play
action pass.
They're not going to throw the ball.
I'm a big fan of the play. If you can establish the run, there's no reason why you wouldn't use the play action pass. Am I right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe,
why wouldn't you keep running the ball?
Because you catch them off guard.
Zaffino in motion.
Oh, I was wrong.
Pass from Kevin, you were both wrong, as it's way incomplete, intended for Hogan out there. It wasn't a run nor a play action pass, just a regular pass. So
Any pass is good for me.
As Jimmy Kenny checks in now on offense. On 3rd and 2 from the Teaneck 36, so 4-down territory for the Patriots as Lowe comes off. 2:20 to go in the first quarter. I formation, Dowling dots it. Handoff to him. He's pushing the pile and he gets the first down. A 5-yard run for Brian Dowling. And Hills is third first down of the drive. As there's going to be an official timeout here, and Teaneck called it, so that's going to be their first charge timeout with exactly 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. So with that, we'll be back with Hills' drive after this.
Yeah, Christian's here. I think that's Christian Olsen, bro, by the 40. The other 40. This 40 over here. You see,
yeah, that's
Wally J just walked by him.
I think so.
Yeah, because it's not Greg.
It's not Greg.
You saw his face, and it's a little, let's put it, huskier than Greg's. But Chicago is in town.
Yeah, that's true.
By the 40-yard line, where
it's Christian
just
Burke.
Pan down.
Yeah,
right
if
there.
you pan down, right there, you see his head.
Greg should be here if they're playing the Giants.
Yeah, they
right
are.
By the 40. Yeah, he's in the football shirt.
All right, let's go. Welcome back to Patriot Stadium, where the Wayne Hills Patriots are beating the Teaneck Highwaymen by a score of 7-6 here in the first quarter. Wayne Hills with 1st and 10 from the Teaneck 31. 2 receivers to the left. Zaffino in motion. It's going to be a handoff up the middle to Dowling, getting inside the 25 and dragging defenders down to the 21, as I think Brian has enough for another Wayne Hills first down.
I mean, Joe, you're right. John, you're right. They're going to keep giving it to him. I mean, if he's picking off 10 at a time, he could have a high total yardage tonight, Joe.
I think he's already up over 50 by my count.
I think it's more than 50, John, by my count. My count is usually correct, just to let you know. You know, one versus 2 V awards, that's correct too.
Handoff to Dowling. Goes to the right, gets inside the 20-yard line. I don't have a response to that.
Well, let's put it this way, Joe. I did as much as you did in any of those videos, and I should have been in both. So I should have 2 too, as well.
Kevin Olsen takes the huddle. Doesn't say what play it is. It looks like an I formation.
No, it's a split I. Offset I, excuse me. Swing pass to the right. It's complete inside the 15, fighting for the 6 and getting the first down is Troy Zaffino. So it's going to be first and goal for Wayne Hills.
You saw there, he didn't have trouble catching that ball. It appeared that he didn't have his gloves on that time. Maybe that affects the way the ball is. If it's, you know, it is a little wet out. So,
and you could be impressed by Kevin tonight because they've been pretty good on it's a wet football.
Yeah, he's really only misfired on that one throw to Troy. Other than that, he's been pretty much on the money. Of course, the deep ball to Eugene was his biggest throw of the night. Handoff, I'm sorry, play action. He fooled me. Pass is batted up and incomplete. Wayne Hills fortunate that wasn't an interception as there were 3 highwaymen in the area. That was intended for Davies, the tight end. And it was incomplete. Broken up by Navon Williams. It'll be second and goal for Hills from the 9.
the play action pass.
They
went to it. Didn't
went
work.
to play action?
Didn't work. Yeah, they did, Joe. Where were you?
It didn't work, though.
It didn't work. I said that. I said they went to it.
So they
Second
should run
and
the
goal
ball.
for Wayne Hills. I formation. Eugene Lowe goes in motion. Handoff to Dowling up the middle. Fights inside the 5. Gets toward the goal line. I think he's short, but that's a strong run from Dowling, as it's going to set up third and goal from the 1 as opposed to third and goal from the 5 where he was initially stopped.
He's had strong runs for 3 years at this program, guys.
And that's going to do it for the first quarter of action as Kevin runs out there, but there's 9 seconds now to go in the quarter. So with that, Wayne Hills will go into the second quarter with the 7-6 lead and them knocking on the door from the 1 yard line. So we'll be back with the goal line stand after this. Welcome back to Wayne Hills High School, where Hills has a huge third and goal from the 1. This is going to be a big play for them. So they stack the line. T-bone formation is going to be a handoff the middle. And Dowling hurdles the pile, and he gets in for the touchdown. So we thought Brian might have learned his lesson about jumping toward end zone from last week, but apparently not, as he gets in there for the score. And Hills goes up 13-6.
I mean, John, he's fearless. If it means 6 points, he'll do it every time.
So Hills looking to go up by 8 now as Dries is going to attempt his second extra point of the night. Low to hold. It's going to be a wet ball, so this could be trouble for some holds tonight as the kick is through the uprights. So Mike Dries 2 for 2 on extra points tonight, and Hills goes up 14-6. As there you see the scoreboard. And the Tom Brady look-alike, as Mr. Berkowitz accurately pointed out.
There's
talking to
two
his
brothers.
The only two, as far as my knowledge, the only 2 quarterbacks, sophomore quarterbacks to ever start for Wayne Hills. As we're going to take a look at the replay of Dowling's hurdle into the end zone. There you see it, as the 2 fullbacks leading the way. And whew, Dowling got about 3 yards deep off that hurdle. So 4 seconds into the second quarter, Hills with already 14 points. It took them 3.5 quarters to get to that mark last week. As there you see the cheerleaders headed up by Chloe Janice, Jackie Zisman, and Mariela Rocamato, the 3 captains. So Dries' kick is a low line drive, another good one, fielded at the 3, fumbled by number 23, Jamal Williams, as Jamal is going to be taken down after getting to just about the 10 or 11 yard line. So a nice break there from Hills as Teaneck is going to start their drive backed up way inside their own 20. Jimmy Kenny on the tackle for the kickoff team.
It's another one of those unsung heroes for this Wayne Hills team.
I think every time I've mentioned Jimmy Kenny this year, the word unsung hero came
He
up.
really is, though.
It's true.
In my opinion, there's a few of them on this team. I believe that Jimmy Kenny and Eugene Lowe are the top two, though. I really do. And maybe that's my opinion.
You think everybody's here besides the names Brian Dowling.
Lear's pass to the left, complete to number 4, Anthony Upshaw, the number 2 receiver for Teaneck, as he's met immediately by, I believe, Troy Zaffino. Might have been Mike Drees, actually. Nope, Troy, my mistake. I was right the first time. So it's going to be 2nd and 6 for Teaneck. So a good job by Troy to wrap up. That was one of the keys that Brian mentioned in the pregame interview. They need to wrap up on those receivers around the perimeter. So guys, it looks like Zaffino's going to be playing corner and Drees is going to be playing safety tonight. By my information, it's been the other way around as Williams takes it to the outside and drags some people for a gain of about 3 or 4, setting up a 3rd and 2 for Teaneck. I mean, going into the season, we thought Eugene might be the starting safety. Troy kind of got that job. I mean, Eugene comes in on 2 safety sets. But now Drees is at safety and Troy's at corner, which makes a little bit more sense because Troy probably a little bit more agile, Mike more of a big hitter. He can probably cover the field a little bit better than Troy. He's definitely more experienced than Troy. So, I mean, you could go either way. Hills puts 6 guys on the line. Lear looks to throw to his right and almost intercepted by Dowling. So it's going to be 4th down, and Teaneck's going to have to punt. So the second 3 and out that Wayne Hills has forced so far tonight.
Joe, I was surprised to hear your key player tonight wasn't Andrew Monahan.
No, I told him that I'm not going to pick him for the rest of the year. But since I said that, he's probably going to return it for a touchdown right now. Right now, I'm calling it.
Joe,
actually,
you're not good at the calling.
Andrew Monahan is going to score a touchdown on this play.
Well, it's going toward his side. It's going to go out of bounds, though.
Oh God.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's just unlucky.
So good field position for Wayne Hills as they're going to start the drive at the 38-yard line of Teaneck. As you see Santoro coming off the field. Guys, what do you think of the pink tonight?
I think it's for a good cause.
That's true.
I think it's for a good cause.
I don't know. It kind of accents the numbering that's in maroon.
Well, put it this way. If there wasn't a cause behind it and they just decided to do it, what would you think?
It'd be a whole different story.
It's a very good cause, guys.
As long as you can back it up, it's all fine.
Well, they're backing it up right now with an 8-point lead as a handoff up the middle. Gain of about 3 or 4 on the play. Dowling on the carry again, as he's gotten every handoff so far tonight. And as the game goes on, you'd expect to see Hogan and Massey maybe get a couple here and there. But James Hogan was introduced as the fullback tonight, and I think that might have been the 3rd different starting fullback Hills has announced this year. Russell Pekarski, I believe, got the opening night start, and I think Nick Massey has also handled a lot of the fullback duties this year, leading the way for Dowling. And all 3 of those guys are very good fullbacks as the handoff goes to Dowling up the middle. Not much there, so Dowling bottled up for really the first time tonight as he gets only 1 or 2 on the play. So it's going to be 3rd and 5 now for Wayne Hills. As real quick, we're going to throw it down to the field. Alex Green has a report for us.
Hills lineman Jason Avadisian, who told me that as long as Wayne Hills is going to continue averaging 8 to 9 yards to carry on the ground, we're going to keep running the ball. Now back to the booth.
Thank you, Alex, making his Wayne Hills TV debut tonight. Very nice report, and seems like our sideline reporters are going to their go-to man, Jason Avadisian, with just about every report this year.
The most sociable player on the football team.
They can talk, guys. They can talk.
That's a good person to go to there. But Hills' offense has been on the field so much, they couldn't go to Justin as he's on the field. Pass complete there to Drees, makes a catch at the 25, makes a move inside the 10, and he's in for the touchdown. Mike Drees making things happen, and Kevin Olsen with the touchdown pass, and Hills goes on top 20-6.
He's You saw him put on the moves there. That was fantastic.
What a play by Mike Drees. Really the first time he's been able to let loose this year. His first long play of the season, and it was a nice one.
In the words of Clyde Frazier, he was slicing and dicing to the end zone for 6 points.
Thanks, Joe.
You know, he's a saint, okay, Walt Clyde Frazier. One of the best
Oh,
Knicks.
I'm not arguing with that.
One of the best Knicks ever play the game.
Drees' kick is good, so Drees gets to score all 7 there, the touchdown and the extra point. So with Hills up 21-6, let's take a look at this play by Drees. Nice play action from Kevin, and he threw that pass, threaded the needle past that linebacker, and Drees made it happen from there. I mean, yards after the catch. There's a beautiful throw by Olsen.
Yeah, we're seeing tonight he's really able to air the ball out for the first time. And he's been extremely accurate, so
I mean,
keep going with it.
I mentioned earlier, this is our first time we're really seeing the true Kevin Olsen and what all that hard work's paid off for him. As there you see him next to his brother, Christian, who I'm sure has some good advice. Starting 3 years for Wayne Hills just about a decade ago. I don't know if you guys were watching, but middle brother, Greg Olsen, gave a shout out to Wayne Hills on SportsCenter on the set on Monday after the Monday night win against the Packers. They had Greg for the on-set interview, and Matt Millen brought up Wayne High School, and Greg Olsen properly corrected Millen and said it was Wayne Hills High School, and talked about the Hills Valley game for a while and about his sophomore brother starting quarterback. So Hills getting some nationwide publicity as another huge kick from Drees. So the adrenaline from his touchdown certainly affecting that kick, but I mean, that was pretty cool if you ask me.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Stuart
national publicity.
Stuart Scott knew about the Hills Valley game and actually brought it up.
Oh, he's my boy. I talked to him about that. I called him up after the game.
What is he as cool as, guys? The other side of the pillow.
You know, Kevin Olsen's been as cool as the other side of the pillow tonight. There you see the cheerleaders again, going with the sweat look tonight, sweat suit look tonight. It is a pretty chilly night. There's going to be a handoff up the middle, getting into the secondary, and a first down for Teaneck. As that was number 12, Navon Williams, making some nice moves on the Wayne Hills linebacking core. And they move the chains. But guys, it's the first night it's been cold so far. We've had 3 warm nights so far this year.
I think it was the rain.
Finally football weather.
I don't know. I'm a little cold.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
I'd say mid 60s with a nice breeze, maybe low 60s.
If the sun was out, it'd be much better.
It was out earlier, but it's 7 o'clock.
It is nighttime, Anthony. Well, the sun goes down at night.
Not always.
Lear's pass incomplete.
Joe, I forgot to tell you your jokes are original.
They are.
Sorry.
I'm sure people at home are laughing as we speak.
Oh, boy.
Harrison, the intended receiver, passes a little bit out of his reach. Hey, guys, just a thought. This Teaneck team with Mike Quinn as their starting quarterback, what do you...
With Mike Quinn as their quarterback?
How good could that be?
It could be a dangerous team. Their offensive line hasn't been all that great, though. They have allowed some pressure. So
Williams with the carry, picks up 3.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I mean, he'd have fantastic position players around him.
Quinn to Harrison all day. That would be an epic combination right there. But Quinn did have his fair share of receivers to throw to at Wayne Hills as well. Not to take anything away from them. Of course, Horahan and Ogden 2 years ago, and last year Drees. Who am I missing?
Max DeCarvalho.
That's it. I knew there was a senior.
Minazra.
And Omar, that's right. So there's going to be a timeout, I believe, for Wayne Hills on 3rd and 7.
Yeah, Coach Olsen is not liking the defense right now. Joe, you've seen Coach Olsen get angry before. But I think most of his stuff is constructive criticism. What do you think?
I happen to agree. like to say it in a very loud way. He wants to make sure you're listening in the huddle, Anthony.
He's got my attention all the way up in the booth.
In the hallway, very intimidating.
No, but he's very, very nice. He's a very nice person off the. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a nice person on the field. I'm saying like you wouldn't get that interpretation from watching his coaching style. He is a very, well-spoken individual who's always asking how you are in the hall. It's good to have that kind of personality.
I mean, whatever he's doing, he's leading his team to wins, and that's all that matters.
You're right, Joe. That is all that matters.
It's all about the W's.
That dub. Get the dub.
3rd and 7 for Teaneck. A huge play for this drive. Lear, the quarterback. 4 receivers, 1 tight end for Teaneck. Actually, no tight ends as Kendrick goes into motion. It's going to be a rollout over the middle. Pass incomplete. Lear's pass wasn't too bad over the middle right there. They had his man intended for Harold Clark, but Eugene Lowe was there to make sure Clark couldn't make the play. So Teaneck's going to have to punt on 4th down.
Opportunity number 2 for your guy Monahan, Joe.
Let's go, Andrew. Do it for your boy up in the booth. Kick it to the right. Come on.
Kick is away to the right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Monahan fields it at the
baby.
35. Shakes the defender at the 40. Gets across the 45 at the 50. Monahan taken down from behind at the 45. So, Joe, it might not have been a touchdown, but a nice return.
No, he got me excited for a second.
That was basically all on his own. He had some nice cutbacks there. So.
And, you know, we haven't seen Dowling defer to Monahan all year, but he did right there. I mean, usually Brian takes charge of those balls right down the middle, but he let Andrew take it, and Andrew showed that he was up to the call. 15-yard return.
Sharing is caring.
I formation for Wayne Hills. Davies the tight end. It's going to be a keeper to the right. Olsen scampering around toward that corner, and he falls forward to the 40-yard line. So a 5-yard run there for Kevin Olsen on the keeper. So Hill's going with a little misdirection there, and they pick up 5 yards on 1st down. And Olsen did a good job of shaking the cornerback Harrison on that play. He got a nice block out there as well. So 2nd and 5 for Wayne Hills. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Olsen looking to throw. 5-step drop, looks deep over the middle. Pass, he got his man. It's Dowling, complete into the end zone for the touchdown. Brian Dowling catches the 40-yard touchdown pass from Kevin Olsen, and Hills goes up by 3 scores.
Guys, Kevin threw a little behind him. Not the greatest pass in the world, but Brian made his adjustment, caught the ball, and scored the touchdown.
Nice play by Brian Dowling, adjusting to the ball in the air. And he took it to the house for the score, and Wayne Hills' offense has had their way tonight.
Yeah, they have, John. I mean, there was multiple receivers open there. Peter Davies was wide open along with Brian Dowling. He could have thrown it up in the air and somebody would have caught it.
Yeah. Extra point from Drees is true. 28-6 Wayne Hills with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter, excuse me. As, I mean, Kevin's receivers have done a good job tonight of adjusting to that ball. I mean, the pass to Lowe, you can't fault Kevin because that was a 50-yard bomb down the field, but it was a little bit behind Eugene, and Eugene did a good job coming back to the ball, and Brian did the exact same thing right there. Isaiah, you see Dowling and Olsen getting some congratulations. Margaret, a little less busy tonight from last week, just a little. As you're going to see a replay, I mean, Kevin, look at that, all day to throw. Good footwork.
Picture perfect. No pun intended.
You know, still shots can be just as revealing as moving shots sometimes.
Oh, boy.
So Hills with a 3-score lead. This is the Wayne Hills games we're used to.
Yeah, this is remnants of last year.
And the year before, and the year before, and the year before. 6 yards deep. Dries is crushing the football. So once again, Teaneck's going to have to start from their 20. As we're going to hope the third time's the charm on the replay. And it is. The pass to Dowling. Look at that. Like we said, adjusting in the air. And from the replay, you could see that Anthony was right. Davies was open, too.
Well, there's 6:25 left on the clock and 2 more quarters left. If they don't score for the rest of the game, I win. It is now 28-6, and I said 27-7, and that would be extremely close.
Well, you know, they need 13 more points to get to 41. So we need a touchdown. We need 2 touchdowns, and Dries to do me a little favor and miss an extra point.
Nice play there by number 1, Tyreek Harrison, but a flag is on the field. Harrison making some nice moves in the backfield, and he was able to get close to the sticks, a gain of about 8 or 9. But we'll have to check out the flag as it looks to be on Teaneck. And it's going to be an illegal shift on the Highwaymen. So, Joe, we were in Teaneck in the winter where the basketball version of this Highwaymen team was able to knock Wayne Hills out of the playoffs, so the football team doing some favors for the basketball team, getting some revenge tonight.
Basketball team had a lot of talent. I mean, they had more talent than we did, and that's why they won.
Isn't that nice?
Oh. I mean, no offense to our talent. We have great talent, but their talent was just better.
Yeah, that Teaneck basketball team was very solid. So 1st and 15 for Teaneck. Lear out of the shotgun. Looks to throw to his left, passing complete into quadruple coverage. I don't even know what 5-man coverage is called. Anthony Upshaw, the intended receiver. So, you know, Lear has gone to Upshaw and Harrison equally tonight. They've each had about 2 or 3 passes thrown to them. So a lot of skill at the skill positions for Teaneck.
Well, I would hope there's a lot of skill at the skill positions, Sean.
Well, not all the teams have skill.
Oh.
I mean, Teaneck has extraordinary skill on that at wide receiver and running back.
Yeah, John, we were fortunate enough to see many of those games last year where there was no skill.
Oh, God.
Lear's going to look over the middle, complete to the tight end. Not much there. Picks up maybe 4 yards on the play. It's going to be 3rd and 11 for Teaneck. Pass was complete to Max Voriakos. So 3rd and 11 for Teaneck, and they've gone with the Hells Bells sounds tonight at every 3rd down. That's a nice little theme going on.
Similar to Rutgers.
I've never been to a Rutgers game.
They do, on 3rd down, they play a guitar solo.
I was thinking Trevor Hoffman.
Well.
But that's the wrong sport.
He's shut down, in a way.
Not anymore, but he was.
He used to be.
Lear looks deep down the field, pressure coming, and he is sacked. That is a coverage sack for Wayne Hills as someone got to the quarterback. It might have been Joe Lane. Davies was in there, of course, as well. It looks like it was Joe Lane on the sack, as they also give Davies credit for the sack. So we'll split it.
Yeah.
Both ends got in there. So it's going to be 4th down for Teaneck. They're going to have to punt. And Joe, he's a few yards closer to return this one.
I'm not going to say anything.
4:48 to go in the half. Punts haven't been too bad for Teaneck tonight. This is an average one. Bounces at the 36 across the 40. So he gets about close to 30 yards on that punt. Got a favorable bounce as Kevin's going to take the field to try to add on to this huge lead. 1st and 10 for Wayne Hills from the Teaneck 44. I believe that's where they started the last drive, if my memory serves me. So I formation once again. Hogan the fullback. It's going to be a handoff to Dowling. Gets to that 40-yard line. Picks up 3 or 4. Hills is going to go with a quick no-huddle offense right now. It's going to be another handoff to Brian, trying to pound the rock. Dowling pushing the pile toward that first down marker. He's right at the 6. It's going to depend on the spot. They're going to stop the clock, so they're either going to measure or give Wayne Hills the first down.
Hey, Joe, I'm going to try to imitate you here. If they don't get the first down, I have a feeling it's going to be a handoff, Brian Dowling. Try to call the offense.
Well, you
I actually know what I think.
There's your prediction.
It's going to be a play-action pass to Peter Davies.
Play-action pass.
I love the play-action pass.
Oh, you got to love the play-action pass. Ooh, it's a first down.
First down for Wayne Hills. So Wayne Hills with a first down at the 34. 4 minutes to go and rolling. Dowling adding to his stat total so far. In 3 games, 46 carries, 332 yards and 4 touchdowns, 7.2 yards per carry. Typical Brian Dowling numbers. Probably a little bit below par from last year, but still averaging over 100, 110, 111 yards per game, so you can't fault him there. He hasn't had the carries either this year. Olsen rolls to his right, goes deep for Eugene Lowe. He's got him in the end zone. Touchdown, Wayne Hills. Kevin Olsen going over the top to Eugene Lowe for the touchdown. A 34-yard connection, and Hills goes up 34-6.
I mean, this is the first time we've really seen Eugene Lowe used as a weapon on the outside. Normally he's just a little curl route guy. Today it looks like he's almost taking Troy Zaffino's spot at the slot back that goes deep. So Eugene Lowe, a good friend of mine and all of ours, congratulations.
Well, Eugene, 2 deep passes he's caught tonight. And on both of them, they were both contested catches, and Eugene was able to come down with them both times. So Drees' extra point is good, and we're going to take a look at the replay here of Eugene's, what we believe is his first career touchdown. We could be wrong, but from our memory, probably his first one. Olsen, that's a beautiful throw on the move.
See, guys, this is the game he's going to emerge into a star. I'm feeling it tonight. This is the game he becomes the future of Wayne Hills.
That looked like play-action pass, didn't it?
It did.
Well,
that was my favorite play.
Didn't I say that before?
That was
play?
No. You
No.
said if he did not get the first down, he was going to go with the play-action pass.
No, that's
now
not
they got
what I
the
said.
first down.
Yeah, that's not what I said.
I role reversals favor Joe Rapp right there. I got to go with Joe.
Well, let's just put it this way. My favorite play is the play-action pass, and they did it. So they were thinking of me during that play. They
Sure,
said,
take
Scudillo,
credit
this
now.
one's for you.
We don't grandfather calls here in the booth.
I don't know if you noticed, but while they were measuring for the first down, I called Coach Olsen up on the field off my cell phone.
What did he say?
I said, Coach,
no, you didn't, Anthony.
The play-action pass is open. He's like, you know what, Mr. Scudillo, I think you're right. And they went with it. Thank you, Coach.
No, they didn't, Anthony. No, you didn't.
Anthony, give him a call right now. We're watching him.
Hey, Coach. Hold on, let me get my phone out.
Well, he's not on the screen anymore.
Yeah, they could get him.
Drees' kick, it's a little bit shorter. It's going to be fielded at the 6. Williams across the 20. Far sideline 25 and knocked out of bounds shy of the 30.
There he is.
Oh,
let me get my phone out.
Speed dial?
Hey, Coach. See, he's busy right now. He's not going to answer his phone. He's
What's
coaching.
his voicemail sound like?
This is Coach Olsen. We're scoring touchdowns right now. I can't get to the phone. Talk to you later.
I really don't think he wants to talk to you guys right now.
No, because he's scoring touctouhdowns. That's
And
exactly what his voicemail says.
He texted me earlier in the game saying you've done a great job announcing the whole year. You're obviously the best one out of the 3.
That's right.
So he doesn't have time to talk, but he has time to text.
Exactly.
Okay.
Bum, bum, bum.
Wildcat option. Toss to Williams. Gets to the 30. 40. There's a flag on the play across the 50. Sorry, that's not Williams. That's actually Tyreek Harrison, the wide receiver. But this one is going to be coming back. So.
Probably a holding or clipping.
Yeah. As it is indeed an illegal block on Teaneck. So that's a costly penalty. Is out. If Harrison stayed in bounds, which we couldn't really tell, that was a good 30-yard run right there. It's going to get called back. And that's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. So it's going to be 1st and 17 for Teaneck. You don't see that down and distance too often.
No, you don't.
They'll back it up to the Teaneck 22. I mean, other than that one drive from Teaneck, they really haven't gotten much going. And, of course, that big fumble recovery from Pekarski, a glaring turning point tonight. Nice run across the 30-yard line is Williams across the 35. That's a 14-yard run from Nevon Williams. It's going to be 2nd and 2 for Teaneck. So 2:51 to go in the first half. So Teaneck's going to have a sense of urgency here. Hills has been stacking the box all night to try to defend Williams. There's going to be another Wildcat. Williams with the option. Tosses it to Harrison. Sure, couldn't quite get that block he needed. He's going to lose a yard on the play, maybe 2. So it's going to be 3rd and 3 now for Teaneck.
See, when you lose yards on a play, it's very unlikely that you're going to get the first down.
Thanks, Joe.
Just letting people know they're trying to learn the game of football.
Oh, yeah.
Not everyone watching is an expert.
No?
I'm sure there's plenty of moms out there that tune in to watch their son that maybe don't know all the rules. So, Joe, thanks for the insight.
I'm just here to help.
I already thanked him once.
I really don't think you meant it, Anthony.
I meant it.
No, you didn't.
Shotgun for Lear, 3rd and 3. Looks to throw to his left, goes for Harrison. It's complete. First down for Teaneck. Shakes the corner that was Dowling. And Harrison gets close to midfield. He's going to be taken down at the 48-yard line by Nick Massey. So Harrison with his 2nd athletic play of the day. And that was a good ball from Lear on that curl route. It wasn't bad coverage from Dowling, but it was just perfectly timed by Teaneck, as now Teaneck's going to take a timeout with 1:42 to go in the opening half. 51 yards to go toward the end zone, and a field goal does them no good.
Not much does them good right now.
Play action pass might do them.
Play action pass works every time. See, if they, this is the one thing about the high school Wildcat that is different from the professional Wildcat.
Explain, Anthony.
Many times the running back will throw the ball in the professional Wildcat. I haven't seen that once in the high school Wildcat. The one time we did see it, it was a toss pass from Brian Dowling. It wasn't the Wildcat, so.
And that turned into an interception.
Yeah.
Not by no fault of Brian.
No. So, I mean, if this Teaneck team had a running back that has the skill set of theirs running backs that they have now and that could throw the ball, ooh, that would be a weapon.
You know who the pink tape reminds me of?
What does the pink tape remind you of?
Trevor Jacobs.
Trevor Jacobs. Come on. Let me finish.
I just rained on your parade. I'm sorry.
He had the pink gloves last year for like the whole season. Lear out of the shotgun, rolls to his right. Can't find anyone. He's going to go deep into the intermediate passing game. Complete for a gain of 13 yards and a Teaneck first down. That'll stop the clock. Pass complete to number 4, Anthony Upshaw. So Teaneck going with a no-huddle offense right here. So we'll see what Lear's made of. 4 receivers. Lear looks over the middle, and he's hit as he throws. It's going to be incomplete. Hit was made by no other than Peter Davies.
Is that 4 for 4 with quarterbacks?
No.
Well, Lear's
4 for 4.
Oh, there's a lineman down too.
4 for 4. Peter Davies.
Well, he didn't hurt Fournier last week. but he hurt 2 guys in one play there, so his average is back up to 1,000. And is that 6 whatever kid?
No, 79 is still on the field.
What is he, 6?
He is 6'7", 360 pounds.
Big guy, bro.
According to Peter,
he
lost 100 pounds in the offseason.
That is a lot of weight. My God.
So there's a lineman down for Teaneck with 1:23 to go in the first half. So we'll be back after this. Back here at Patriot Stadium as we await the injury timeout, as we're going to take a look at the last touchdown. And once again, it was another beautiful throw from Kevin. Look, we're going to slow it down for you.
Play action pass, John.
Tell me about the play action pass.
I'll tell you about the play action pass.
If you can establish the run,
The play action pass works regardless of anything going on around you. Every single time.
Well, there you see the stretcher. They brought it out on the field. So it's going to be another couple of minutes before we we continue the action.
Oh, John, we were just talking about during the break when I went down during the summer for the Hills summer baseball team, and they had to get a stretcher for me.
How did that feel?
I'll say this: it was embarrassing. I felt like a little bit of pride was lost. Because I didn't want to go down. I wanted to keep playing, but I couldn't even stand. I couldn't move my leg.
And to be honest, it was pretty entertaining. You falling down from first. I was on first. I just got a single to left field.
Oh, Joe! I forgot you did really good this summer.
I did do very well this summer.
I know. I said I forgot you did really good. I wasn't being
it was shameful. I wish Justin Avedisian could gain some more speed as a lineman because he honestly cost me 10 RBIs in the summer.
Here you see the Wayne Hills mascot on the sideline in his Army fatigue sweatshirt. He's been all over the sidelines tonight as they're finally getting the player back up on the stretcher as Margaret pumps up the crowd.
I think that's Coach Olsen.
I was just kidding.
No, you weren't, John.
As you see the parents of the injured player, his parents are taking off his helmet and his pads. And that's not a good sign as they start to get the ambulance in position. Hopefully, it's not a neck injury or a serious
spinal injury.
Let's hope it's an ankle or something or a leg that can
heal.
That can be repaired, not something so severe. Because that's the last thing you want to see in any sport, any game, and ever. That's the last thing you want to see.
I mean, the reality is it's just a high school football game. It's not the Super Bowl.
And that's something you need to come to, really to understand and grasp. That when I went down, I acted as if it was the end of my baseball career. But right now, my knee is pretty healthy, and I realized it was just the summer that I was missing, and that's a time that I'm able to miss. So hopefully his injury isn't so severe.
He's moving, thank God. I mean, he's
got to give the thumbs up.
Yeah, his head is fine. He's turning around and stuff.
Probably a leg. Let's hope.
Definitely a leg injury. As they have his legs tied up.
There's the thumbs up. There it is.
Never want to see that. Never.
No, or be a part of it. So I'll tell you, it's something something you don't want to be accustomed to. That was my first ride in an ambulance. Hopefully,
how was that, Anthony?
I'll tell you, Joe. It was strange. I mean, you're laying down, and all you just see is
lights. Are there lights on top of that?
Yeah, no, it's not on the inside, but you can see them flashing on the outside, like a little bit. Yeah, and hearing the sirens and everything. It's
feel like you're in the movies, right?
It's a surreal event. It's not something I'd like to experience again, to say the least. But
we get a shot of the sideline, not Mr. Hook Street. Number 41.
Not Mr. Hook Street.
Just lifted up that little boy in the Army fatigue sweatshirt and kind of tossed him around a little bit. Gave some hip passes of the child, but Now, wow, Teaneck is going to start doing some calisthenics on the other side.
You gotta stay warm.
It is cold out here, so trying to stay loose.
Yeah, it's getting a little frigid now. I think the weather has changed drastically. We just got a score update from the DePaul Wayne Valley game.
And is that where everyone is? Because no one's here.
Yeah, no one is here. I've been to a few DePaul games, and it really packs a nice crowd. So
They have talent.
They do have talent. They also have been crushed recently by a few different parochial school teams. But they are winning 14-7 as of right now.
And Anthony, the first Wayne school to get turf was DePaul.
Yes, it was back. That was a while ago now. They've had that turf for a pretty long time. It's not.
And that's where the game is, right?
That is where the game is. It is at DePaul. So
Valley losing after the emotional loss last week.
Yeah, I mean, we said their schedule coming up is very tough. They have DePaul, they have Old Tappan, and they have Ramapo. I could see them going 0-3 in those 3 games.
Well, you know who else's schedule was very tough?
Ours.
No, well, Teaneck's.
Oh.
They had to start their season against Ramapo, number 2 in the tri-state area, Bergen Catholic.
Oh, man.
Clifton, and now Wayne Hills.
Yeah, they really faced the top-notch teams to start off the season.
So we'll see if they can rebound from an 0-4 start. Not to give Hills the win already, but they're up 35-6 as Lear looks deep down the field, looking for Harrison, and it's intercepted by Wayne Hills. Coming back the other way, looks like Mike Drees across the 50, across the 40, 30, 25, 20. That's Troy Zaffino, and he's in for the touchdown. Troy Zaffino with a 90-yard interception return for a touchdown. And Hills goes up 41-6.
Joe, you're pretty close right now. 41-6.
Mike's got to miss this field goal.
It's called an extra point.
Excuse me, extra point. Excuse me, John, an extra point.
Excuse
no
me.
need to yell.
So you did.
Let's not be hypocritical now.
When did I yell?
Oh my God. Wow, I'm pretty spot on. There is a whole nother half to go. Wayne Hills will probably start their second teamers.
Well, Joe, why don't you text Coach Olsen and tell him not to score?
We should do a second half projection of the score. How many they're just going to score in the second half?
The revised
Come on, Mike.
edition?
Yeah. Mike, do me good. Come on.
Oh, he botches the snap. Drees is going to look to throw. Deep, and it's incomplete. Joe Rapp.
Oh, man.
Let's take a look at the replay. Looks like, oh, here's the interception. Oh, this was a nice one. Zaffino playing center field. Anthony, you know a thing or two about center field.
Yes, I do.
As Troy's just going to take it up the sideline, getting blocks left and right. I think that could be Troy's third.
Second pick in as many weeks.
That's his 4th interception of the season. Wow. 4 interceptions in as many games. I mean, the only other player I remember with a lot of interceptions
Jeremiah
was
Kale.
Jeremiah Kale.
Jeremiah Kale, number 2.
I think he had 9.
Hey,
I think he had 9 in 12 games. And Troy is on pace to beat that, but of course a long way to go.
Yeah. We do have some very tough opponents coming up.
Yes.
Mainly Ramapo.
Well, taking a look at Wayne Hills' schedule, the next 3 weeks, they play solid teams, but nothing similar to Teaneck. Teams that are supposed to be solid, but teams we should beat. Bergen Tech, Ridgewood, and Paramus. And after that, it gets difficult. Defending North 1 Group 3 state champions Ramapo, and finishing the season on a Saturday afternoon game against the St. Joe's Green Knights, who of course broke Wayne Hills' 55-game winning streak last year right here at Patriot Stadium. So Hills are going to look to go on their turf this time and take some revenge. This is a short kick fielded at the 8. Williams across the 20, taken down at the 26. Ball comes loose. I think he was down, and that's what they're going to call it. So with 54 seconds to go, I'd expect Teaneck to run a few plays, but
not throw it up.
Try to avoid another Troy Zaffino interception.
I really hope they stay at 6 points here, because 41-6 is relatively close to 41-7. Oh, thank you, Joe.
There you see Christian Olsen again. So Lear out of the shotgun. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. Running room for Williams. Sorry, I drew a blank. It's going to pick up 7 on the play. Clock ticking down, under 40 seconds to go. Now, gain of 6 we'll give them. So they probably will run one more play. Greenfield on the tackle as some subs getting in already. As I'm sure in the second half, we're going to see plenty of substitutes in the game.
We've seen Greenfield in the first team defense multiple times this year.
As well as special teams.
Yeah, he just brings in a lot of energy. Somebody off the bench that plays with a high intensity.
So Lear out of the shotgun, the same play to Williams up the middle. He slips and falls after a gain of 3.
Might do it.
So that's going to do it for the first half of action. A very impressive half for the Patriots as they are going to go into the locker room up 41-6. So guys, thoughts on the first half?
Well, I was just impressed with Kevin Olsen throwing the football. I mean, he threw it to his open receivers. He didn't overthrow him at all, didn't underthrow him. And the receivers made great adjustments on the ball if it was kind of a bad throw. So he just played great, and I'm happy for him.
Joe, I have to agree with you 100%. Kevin Olsen has really stepped up his game. We saw last week his maturation process really was a catalyst in the second half. We saw that everything really clicked for him in the second half. He was able to start the offense up without Brian Dowling, and we've seen it continued into this game.
Well, Wayne Hills' offense is certainly back on track after only scoring 14 offensive points last week. Kevin Olsen, like you said, has been on the money, but really the key to me has been the offensive line. They've done a great job tonight. After a shaky game against Valley, they were able to come away with the win, of course. But this week, they've opened up huge holes for Dowling. And after Dowling got them the huge lead, they've been able to allow Kevin to let the ball fly a little bit. And Kevin has just done a tremendous job tonight. And before we send it to the marching band, let's send it down to the field as Alex Green has a very special interview for us.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Wayne Today's sports writer, Rich Stambulian. Thank you for joining us, Rich.
My pleasure.
So let's get into this. Wayne Hills got off to a bit of a shaky start, giving up a quick touchdown, but now it's 41-6 at halftime. What do you think?
Well, I think they had a turnover in the first half that they gave up that quick touchdown from Teaneck, but second quarter they kind of hit their stride.
Hills is playing pretty well so far, but they have 2 very tough road games against Paramus and Ridgewood the next 2 weeks. How do you think they'll fare in those games?
Well, I think they're going to face a lot tougher competition than they're seeing tonight. So they'll have to work it out for them those next 2 games.
So sophomore quarterback Kevin Olsen started 4 games so far this season. How do you think his performance is tonight compared to the rest of the season?
I think he's made progress each game, and this tonight, I think, based on one half, this is probably his best half he's had this year.
I overheard him saying that he could have had 4 touchdowns and made a bad throw. He only has 3 in the first half, and he was disappointed about that. What does that say about his personality?
Well, I think he recognizes that his real talent is not as a running quarterback, but he recognizes that his team is going to do better when he can complete more passes and get the ball into the end zone.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Stambulian. We look forward to having you back in 3 weeks. Now, let's cut to the marching band.
Got my moles.
Yeah. They got Sleepy Valley this year. Huh? Sleepy Valley this year. I was
magnificent performance by the Wayne Hills Patriot Marching Band. A standing round of applause is appropriate.
Twins right, I formation. That famous power I for the Patriots. Could this be the last game of their season? Twin play action, rolls out to the right, looks to pass, has protection, airs it out to Omar Minazra. He catches it. It's a touchdown. The Patriots win the game. It's good. The Patriots win. Everyone storms the field.
Welcome back to the second half. I'm here with former Patriots quarterback Christian Olsen. Christian, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
I just want to get into this. What is it like to see your baby brother playing on the field?
Well, you know, it's real exciting. I'm sure it's been a lifelong dream for him to get out there watching me and Greg from the time he was, you know, basically a baby. So I'm, you know, real excited for him. I'm real excited for the entire team. Everything looks good this first half. So, you know, I think it's going to be a good year for them.
You played here about 10 years ago. How does this team compare to the teams you played with?
I think this team's right on par with everybody I played with. Obviously, you know, the way, you know, the coaching has evolved since then, the way the strength training and the off-season program has evolved. These kids might be a little further along strength-wise, athletic-wise than we were. But, you know, we were good teams back there. And, you know, they're adding some new wrinkles right now. So, you know, I think this team would give any team that's played for Wayne Hills a run for their money.
All right. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you.
No problem, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Alex. It's good to see Chris back at Wayne Hills. He's the only other sophomore quarterback to play other than Kevin. So let's take a look quickly at the first half highlights. It started off with Teaneck, and here's Harold Clark getting to the outside, beating the first few defenders, and James Hogan is there on the tackle. A nice way to stop it. Brian Dowling here fights for his first 10. He had more coming on this play. Dowling again right through the A-gap, gaining another 10. He was a first down machine in the first half. Here's Dowling leaping over. Dangerous play. We saw him get hurt last week on a leap for the touchdown. And Kevin Olsen on the play action pass finds Mike Drees, who makes a quick move to the inside and back to the middle of the field for the touchdown. Then on the punt, Andrew Monahan's going to take this one. Joe's key player. He jumps from left to right and back to the middle before he gets tackled from behind. Here's Kevin Olsen to a wide open Brian Dowling for his second passing touchdown of the day. Here's Nate Greer trying to find something, and he doesn't, and gets sacked by Peter Davies. Then Olsen again on the play action pass. On the move, finds Eugene Lowe for the touchdown. A beautiful pass on the run there. And here Greer throws it up. Troy Zaffino is waiting there, though. That's his fourth pick of the season. He's going to take it back, cuts to the inside initially, and then back to the outside here. And then at the 20-yard line, he's going to go back to the middle of the field for the pick six. Now, we remember Jeremiah Kale had 9 in a season. Troy Zaffino already has 4 and as many games. So, I mean, that's something to look forward to, Joe. John Vittas is not with us right now. We said Jeremiah Kale, 9 interceptions in 12 games a few years back. Now, Troy Zaffino, 4 in 4 games. Any comparisons between the two?
Well, Troy has well, yeah. I mean, Troy has a lot of interceptions in the first 4 games. 4, like you said. I mean, he has a definite chance to try to break that record set by Jeremiah Kale in 2007.
Now, Troy has been playing both the safety and corner position, so he does have a lot of opportunities on the ball, especially with teams having to throw against Wayne Hills' defense. We're going to welcome Alex Green into the booth. Now, he's a rookie, so he's gonna have to get used to this initially. Well, Alex,
welcome.
You've had four 4 total hours of, TV experience before this. Welcome to the big show.
Welcome to the big leagues.
Thanks, guys. It's really a pleasure to be here.
I mean, you've been doing a great job on the sideline with the overall reporting skills that you've watched, and probably from professional sports, and maybe myself and Joe Rapp occasionally.
More me than you, Anthony.
No, I mean, you got the big shot in the Sparta game last year, state semifinals, while I was on the field with Jordan Kessel, so that was a big game.
Very big game.
Now, Alex, one thing we were talking about, I think you were not in high school yet, but our freshman year, Jeremiah Kale was the outstanding corner for Wayne Hills. And he had 9 interceptions in 12 games that year. This year, Troy Zaffino has 4 interceptions in 4 games. So on pace to beat Jeremiah Kale's record.
Well, Troy is in my grade, and I know he's one of the most, if not the most, athletic kid in my grade.
Yeah,
definitely.
He's very durable. I know he's fantastic at football, so I could see it's very possible him breaking that record.
Troy can play any sport that you name. There's another squib kid. Eugene Lowe is going to take this one and get about -2 yards on that one. So,
not only can he play any sport, he can excel at any sport.
Oh, I mean, he's one of those guys. Give him a hockey stick, he'll go score 3 goals. Give him a basketball, he'll go score 20 points. And give him a baseball, and he'll go pitch 6 shutout innings. That's the kind of athlete he is. You literally can give him, a pair of goggles, and he'll go swim the 100 meters. So, I mean, he's really incredible.
I mean, he's got a gift that not a lot of people have.
So Hills is going to start out of the Wildcat. Dowling is going to hand it off to James Hogan, who bounces out to the outside. Ooh, bounces off another defender and going to get a gain of about 8 yards. A nice play out of the Wildcat formation for James Hogan right there.
Alex, he's just so intimidating, James Hogan, when he runs at somebody, right?
Yeah, he's a big boy.
I know last year we had Trevor Jacobs, who's Hogan's not quite as big, but he's still pretty intimidating.
I mean, at height-wise, you are correct, but I don't know if anyone really compares to James Hogan in muscle.
He's a big guy,
endurance, size. You're going to go out of the Wildcat again. Dowling's going to give it to Hogan again. He's bouncing it to the other side. Ooh, tries to get the stiff arm. Nothing doing there. He's going to be maybe a gain of 1.
I think you jinxed him, Anthony.
Yeah, maybe I did. Maybe it's the pink shoes.
You have a tendency to do that.
Yeah, Joe, and you have a tendency to get the right calls.
Did I not call Kevin Olsen's play action pass?
Yeah,
did I not call that?
I called that one.
No, you didn't, Anthony. You called a run up the middle.
Well, we still see the starters in for this offense.
I'm surprised, Anthony.
Yeah, we have the first team offense up by, a lot
of points.
35 points with 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Kevin's going to go under center this time. Oh, ball looked like it was supposed to be handed off to Brian Dowling. Kevin Olsen's going to go in for the tackle. That's something you don't often see from a quarterback. Handoff was muffed. There was a penalty on the field. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be. We'll have to see. Maybe an offsides on the defense. We'll have to see what they call the penalty on. But just looks like some miscommunication there. It appears like it's going to be on Wayne Hills because Teaneck is keeping the ball. It's going to be illegal motion on Hills, so that's their second turnover of the game, both on handoffs.
Well, I really don't think their head is really in this game right now because they know it's over. I think Teaneck knows it's over. The fans know it's over, so.
Well, Joe,
but they should get their repetitions in.
You're 100% right, but that's something I'd be worried about because we saw in the well, that should be a penalty. They broke out of the huddle with too many players, but they scored very quickly, Teaneck did, and that's something I wouldn't be so secure about. Handoff's going to go to number 2, Harold Clark.
I know I was
going to get a nice gain of -3 there. So
when I was down on the sideline, I overheard Kevin Olsen saying that he had 3 touchdowns in the 3 passing touchdowns in the first half, and he made a poor throw on one that could have been a 4th touchdown. He was really, really disappointed that he didn't have 4. Just shows how he's so just into the game. Like he really not so much that he cares about his stats.
Yeah.
But just the improvement, like how he was really disappointed about the throw more than the touchdown.
Yeah, and I know exactly the throw you're talking about. It was on the left sideline. He had Eugene Lowe, who was not covered by anyone. He kind of left him hanging a little bit. He had to wait for the ball. He really had some open space in between him and any other defender, almost 10 yards. So you're right. If he had thrown a little, not overthrown him like we've said, but just a little more, he probably would have had his 4th touchdown. Here's Greer for the pass. Oh, it's going to be picked off.
I think that might be Mike Drees, Anthony.
It looked like it was Mike Drees, and they've changed quarterbacks, it appears. That was not Lear, Nate Lear. That was number 12, Navon Williams. Now, he was running the Wildcat before, but he had not thrown a pass. Well, his first pass tonight, picked off by Mike Drees.
Not a good start. Maybe. Welcome to the second half.
And I would presume that some of the backups are going to come in rather shortly. I mean, there still is 7 minutes and 26 seconds left, but I believe it's a rolling clock when you're up by a certain amount of points in the
35
in the second half. So
35, there you go.
They are up by 35, so it's going to be a rolling clock. We got Twins left and an I formation. They're going to give the ball to Dowling, who tries to find his way out of a hole. Nothing doing there. He's going to get maybe 2 off of forward progress.
Dowling on the carry, tackled by a band of highwaymen.
I think at this point, when you're up 41-6, I don't know why you would put Dowling in, especially after last week where he did sort of get injured. I mean, I don't think you want to have a chance.
You don't want to hinder his chances to play the rest of the season.
You don't want to see an injury, especially because this isn't even one of their big games. The big games are at the end of the season when they have to play Ramapo. And at this point, the seeding will be done, but you know they're going to come out hard against St. Joe's. So
both away, too.
Yeah, both away. So the Ramapo game, they're defending their title from last year. So
even the next 2 games are pretty tough, at Paramus and at Ridgewood.
Here's Troy Zaffino on the bubble screen there. It's a gain of about 15. And they'll get the first down at about the 46-yard line. You saw Mike Garino go in there at wide receiver. That's one of the substitutes, but he comes out just as quickly as he got in.
I was talking to him earlier also. He said that if he's given the opportunity, he can really make it. He feels that he can really make a difference on the team.
I bet you a lot of people feel like that. I mean, they're not necessarily given the opportunities early in the season. There has been some scares, mainly in the Wayne Valley game. As you see Justin Beveridge come into the game now, it looks like many of the backups are going to come in now.
Eric Moskal comes in at wide receiver.
As well, going in for Eugene Lowe. So, I mean, when they get their opportunities, we've seen Dom Santoro was able to step up, James Hogan, and so is Troy Zaffino. So when these guys are called upon, they've really answered the phone. So Justin Beveridge is going to be the tailback here. An I formation. Beveridge is going to get the handoff, and he runs hard through the hole. See, I really love the way Justin Beveridge runs. He may run somewhat straight up, but you know he attacks the hole as soon as he sees it.
He goes hard, Anthony. I mean, he's very consistent in his running game too. I mean, he gets really the same amount of yardage every play.
Yeah.
I mean, 3rd and 2, he's going to get a first down. 1st and 10, it's going to be a 2nd and 3.
Yeah.
So he does everything to help your team win, even in a blowout like this.
So Garino checks back into the game. Beveridge will stay in, and so will Drees.
What I love about Beveridge is that he's pretty small, even at the high school level, but he's really, really fast, and his legs just never stop moving.
He runs like you wouldn't expect him to shoot out of the cannon the way he does. He really, comes out of nowhere. So it's going to be 1st and 10. Beveridge is going to get the handoff again, bounce off a defender, and try to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he's not able to. Another Teaneck defensive lineman is down. He's going to try to shake this one off.
See, Anthony, Justin's got to make that adjustment. When you see there's nowhere to go right in front of you, you got to bounce outside.
Yeah.
Because it was open. I mean, you saw it, Alex, you saw it, and I saw it. But he's going to have all next year to learn that. He's got the rest of this year to learn it.
Yeah. I mean, their upcoming schedule isn't all that difficult. They have Paramus.
Paramus is a good team.
Yeah, they are, but we don't know how they're going to play. It is an away game. Bergen Tech, who should be a blowout, and Ridgewood. So the handoff, it's going to be a play-action pass, looking for Beveridge, and he's not able to hold on to it. Looked like it was a play-action screen back to Beveridge. Nothing doing there.
The next 3 games, not to say they're easy, but compared to the last 2, at Ramapo and at St. Joe's, certainly they seem like a cakewalk compared to those 2.
I mean, they really do. From what I understand, these next 3 games should be somewhat similar to the teams like Teaneck that are, competitive teams, but when they face a team of Hill's stature, they really can't compete the way they normally do. So they're going to bring in the first team offense for 3rd down and 11, trying to get the first down clearly. It's going to be play action. He finds Pete
There's
Davies
your boy,
open.
Anthony.
That is my boy, you're right. And a nice gain there. Gets down to about the 10-yard line.
Fantastic throw on the run by Olsen.
Yeah, Olsen was able to scramble to his right-hand side. And Pete Davies, like I said, when you need to integrate a quarterback into a system, it's easy to have a 6'4" guy to throw to.
I mean, that's the play you've wanted to see the past 2 weeks, Anthony.
Yeah.
This play action pass rollout and throw it to the 6'3" Peter Davies. It's pretty much automatic if you get it above his head.
If you throw it somewhere near him, he's 6'4". I bet you his wingspan is about 6'7". So, I formation here. The handoff's going to go to Beveridge. He bounces it to the outside, runs into a defender, and not able to get by him. It's going to be second about 5. Got to about the 6-yard line.
Tackled by number 12, Navon Williams.
I mean, that's the one thing that is a flaw with Beveridge. When he runs into a guy, he can't really bounce off because he's running so straight up.
When comparing this to college football, when Alabama running back Mark Ingram was injured, the backup Richardson was still fantastic, but his vision was just not as good. He would always run up the middle instead of cutting outside, and you could compare Beveridge to Richardson.
Yeah, I mean, they both run hard. They're both extremely fast. That's
absolutely.
That's mainly the upside for them. But again, they don't have the lateral movement that you see in a lot of other backs in the high school level, the collegiate level, and the NFL level. I mean, the one thing that we see in the pros is that the lateral movement is fantastic. They can literally stop on a dime and almost sidestep at will. You see Brian Dowling on the sideline here. He's going to probably take most of the rest of the game off.
No need to use him.
No.
It's a 35-point game. Plus, I don't want to see Wayne Hill score again, to be honest. Don't want to.
Oh, wow. That was
never
a nice
mind.
move there. Troy Zaffino.
You were saying, Joe?
Hurdling over one player, getting into the end zone. That was a cool run. I mean, he literally just hopped over the defensive, looked like the nose tackle, and just ran right in.
Well,
Joe, you're wrong.
It turns out my prediction has been wrong.
Okay. So,
as we said, Zaffino is just really, really athletic.
Well,
Give him the ball, he can get stuff done.
Most of the backups in. Anthony Jordan is now into kick. They're taking Mike Drees out.
Anthony Jordan will attempt the extra point.
The hold is good. And the kick is fantastic.
Beautiful, right down the middle.
I mean, he's a kicking specialist.
He's automatic.
He is automatic.
With 53 seconds remaining in the third quarter, Patriots.
There are 53 seconds left in the third quarter. It has been proven that Joe Rapp is wrong now. It is 48-6.
I admit it.
What was your prediction?
41-7.
Ooh, close. I said 27-7.
Oh, well, God knows you were out the first play of the game.
There's Pete Davies, the recipient of that 20-plus yard reception. I mean, we've said with the skill players that are on this Wayne Hills team, it's easy to integrate a quarterback in. I mean, especially one with a lot of inexperience, and only a sophomore. So if there's a year to do it, this is it. It appears that Mike Drees will still be taking the kickoffs. I mean, we've seen he has a boot and a half. So. Alex, how does this differ from what you're used to on the field so far?
Well, it's actually a lot louder up here, at least right now with the band playing. But I like it more up here. I really get to see everything going on, and while I'm not up front with all the players, it's still pretty cool.
Matt Creedfield thought he had a strip there and walked right into the end zone. The play was called dead before that, so I'm going to have to come back and give that ball back, Mr. Greenfield. We see most of the defensive starters in still. The only one that's in there that might not be a starter but plays regularly is Eugene Lowe, as is Jimmy Kenny at middle linebacker. So my two heroes, like John said, I say every time, which I do, the unsung heroes are both in. Eugene Lowe is going to be at safety. Monahan is at the near side corner along with Dom Santoro. So that is the end of the third quarter. It is 48-6 Wayne Hills. We're going to take a look at the MSG top 10. As you see there, Wayne Hills. This is the Tri-State top 10. I'll do that. Wayne Hills is at 9. You see Seton Hall Prep. They beat up DePaul last weekend. Sachem North in Long Island is at 8. St. Peter's Prep at 7. Mossuk is at 6 in Connecticut. St. Anthony's in Long Island is at 5. Phillipsburg is at 4. St. Joe's of Montville, that is the final game on Hills' schedule, at 3. And look at that, the top 3.
The top 3.
Bergen Catholic, Don Bosco Prep, and St. Joe's. That is the, that's all Wayne, New Jersey there, not Wayne, New Jersey. That's New Jersey representing, you know, high school football at its best.
These are 5 of the 10 teams in the Tri-State top 10 were from New Jersey, including the top 3. But I'm sure those standings are about to shake up, considering that Bergen Catholic and Don Bosco are playing tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll change, but I imagine that the rankings aren't going to change that much, because those are 2 powerhouse teams.
And they've been for a long period of time.
You don't get much better than Don Bosco and Bergen Catholic wherever you go. We've seen Don Bosco travel across the country, willing to play teams from anywhere.
And they win.
And beating them. You're right. Just flat out beating them.
And they were nationally the #1 team in the country at the end of last season.
So the snap was fumbled here. It's going to be a loss of about 10. That was ugly. Looked like the snap was just not handled correctly.
That was not a textbook snap you would teach in practice.
No, I mean, that's what practice is for, but when it comes to the second strings, they don't always get as much practice as they need. You see all the defensive starters still in there. Russell McCarskey, James Hogan, Peter Davies, Joe Lane, Roberto Alvarez. You see everybody in there, so Hills is going to play strong throughout this, at least most of the second half with their starting defense. There's the Wildcat again. We've seen that a lot from Teaneck tonight. Navon Williams, who has taken over the quarterback position in this second half, tries to, you know, get closer to the initial line of scrimmage. Really nothing doing. This defensive line has really played up to all the hype that they've created.
With the team you have playing like Wayne Hills does, I mean, when you lose 10 yards on first down and 2nd and 20, you're really almost never going to make that first down.
So it's going to be 3rd and about 18. I'd expect to see the pass. There's a bubble screen. Looks like it's going to be a double pass.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and it's almost picked off. Troy Zaffino going up for the pick. Wow, just trying to boost his stats for, you know, the pick record. That one was deflected away, though, by Tyreek Harrison, who's the one who jumped over Brian Dowling for the reception earlier in the game. So it's going to be 4th and 18.
Something I heard about Troy earlier when I was on the sideline was that before he had that pick 6, he was actually complaining how he did not get the ball as often as he would like. And then look at that, he picks off a ball and runs 90 yards back to the house.
Well, if you don't get the ball on offense, go and take it away on defense. The punt's away. It's extremely short. It almost bounces into a Hills blocker, Nick Massey.
Looks like he almost hit him in the head.
Yeah, it's going to be spotted at the 38-yard line of Teaneck. So fantastic field position Wow, the entire second team just walked onto the field. Let's see who we got. You have every backup you can possibly think of. Justin Beveridge is in at running back. Andrew Monahan at quarterback. There's Eric Moskal. There's Mike Garino, an entirely new line. You're gonna have twins right. I formation. The ball is gonna be handed to Christian Graff at fullback. Gain of about 2. Probably just going to look to run out the clock left with 8 minutes.
And it will go pretty fast since it is a running clock.
Yeah. So 2nd and 7 here. Monahan under center again. Ball's going to go to Beveridge this time. This time he was able to bounce off the first defender and get a nice gain of 5 there. Joe, you said the consistency with Justin Beveridge is fantastic. And again, you've called everything tonight. You're right.
I know.
I haven't seen Monahan pass this year. I saw him last year. And,
he only had a few passes last year. One big one to Chris Massoud.
It's an instant Patriot classic.
It was.
I saw him pass a bit last year. And I mean, I don't think we're going to see him pass very much right now, considering we're up 42 points.
Well, it's
and trying to run up the clock.
3rd and 3.
Looks like
it was a fake handoff. Monahan's going to run it to the
Player.
outside. He's going to break it back to the other side, and he's got room to run. He's going to get to the outside and get tackled there at the 20-yard line. A nice job of switching fields for Andrew Monahan. And a gain of about 10, and a first down for Wayne Hills is at the 21-yard line.
That was impressive. He made his adjustment. He saw that there was nowhere to go on the left side, so he cut back around and got himself a first down. It was very impressive.
He turned a loss of 5 into a gain of 10. It's very, very impressive.
15-yard swing.
He initially ran into his fullback. You'll see here, he ran into Christian Graff and saw defenders in front of him, decided to switch back to the other side of the field, got to the outside, and then took it there. Oh, look at Beveridge bounce to the outside.
Oh, nice
sidestep. Wow, Justin Beveridge. This kid is the future next year. I know
he's
playing with the second team offense and might be playing against the second team defense, but he is part of the crew that's going to be the running backs next year with Troy Zaffino, Dom Santoro.
I mean, they're not going to lose anything when they lose Brian Dowling, James Hogan, and Nick Massey. Well, they'll lose something,
they'll lose experience.
But they can regain it easily.
They're getting the experience now, and this is a perfect example. You're up 42 points. Get the younger guys in, have them prepared for when they need to go in and play.
As good as they are now, they'll be even better next year.
Oh,
coupled with the fact that Kevin Olsen will be a lot better, especially with all the experience that he's getting playing. They'll be a good team next year.
Yeah. Beveridge is going to take it again. Gets to the 5-yard line. 2nd down and goal from there.
Beveridge on the carry.
Again, the consistency is fantastic with him. I'm very impressed.
Number 27, Saquon James on the tackle. Second and goal on the 7.
You go I formation. Give it to Beveridge again. Tries to get a little bit. Might have lost one. Maybe a gain of 1 to about the 4-yard line. Maybe a half-yard gain.
13, Robinson. Number 56, Omar Isa.
So there's 5 minutes left in the second half. Wayne Hills is beating the highweight men of Teaneck 48-6. It's a rolling clock because of that. Monahan's gonna roll out. Try to get to the outside without anybody touching him. He gives a stiff arm, reaches for the pylon and doesn't get it.
Down
just
for 1.
Short. Probably four down territory. Driven out at the 3. They're not going to give him the credit that I gave him. I mean, Anthony Jordan was warming up before kicking. Probably 4th down territory, though. Get the offense.
Some repetitions.
Yeah, and try to just keep boosting the score up. We're going to see an I formation again. Beveridge still at tailback. It's going to be a toss to him. Oh, and he's going to walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Wayne Hills. Justin Beveridge took the toss to the outside, cut it inside quickly, and got the score.
I mean, that's his first varsity touchdown, guys. I'm happy for him. I know you guys are happy for him.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've seen the second varsity touchdown, this time a different player. The first was Eugene Lowe in the first half. Had a really big play that could have led to a second touchdown, but unfortunately it was just a little underthrown. So 2 players tonight have gotten their first varsity touchdowns.
Congratulations to Beveridge. He really plays his heart out, runs hard, doesn't stop running. Really deserves that touchdown.
And that's what you play for, boys.
Snap is good, and kick is true from Anthony Jordan. So Wayne Hills will go up 55-6. Let's check out the replay of that last touchdown. Beveridge took the toss to the outside. You see he cuts it back here and just scampers into the end zone.
It's a beautiful cut.
It is. I mean, we've said that the lateral movement wasn't there. Well, touche, Justin Beveridge. You've shown me that you can.
Shown all of us.
Probably heard us. It was like, wow, I need to prove them wrong.
I feel like this game and Bergen Tech in a few weeks is like one of those FCS games you play in college against one of those teams that isn't really going to present you a challenge. So you can stock up for the hard teams, practice.
Yeah, but Alex, that situation happened a couple years ago with Michigan and Appalachian State, and
they lost.
Michigan got burned.
Blocked a punt and
even this year
for a touchdown.
Even this year with James Madison and Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
But that happens very, very rarely. 99% of the time, the Division I team will win.
You're right, Alex. Those are meant to be tune-up games.
And I think we're
mistakes happen.
Definitely tuning up in this game.
Yeah.
It's like in the longest yard with the guards and the Mean Machine, and the Mean Machine end up winning. So, if fans don't know what I'm talking about,
I do, Jonas.
I got it.
It's a good movie. Drees is still the kickoff starter. He's going to kick this one into the end zone. It's going to be
what a leg
there. So let's see the replay again. This time in split screen action. You see Beveridge take the pitch, cut to the inside, and get in for the score. Wow, that's neat. That's something new we've added to the Wayne Hills TV repertoire.
Mr. Berkowitz, why don't you just pat yourself on the back for that one?
The picture in picture. So here comes the second string defense.
As the clock needs to run down.
Yeah, there's 3 minutes and 29 seconds left. We've got Matt Greenfield at DA. Justin Beveridge is at corner, Mike Areno is at safety. Devon Williams is no longer under center. Oh, and look at this. The second team offense is doing a little bit better than the first team. Number 4 is now in at quarterback, Anthony Upshaw. That was one of the starting wide receivers tonight. That's the second starting wide receiver that's turned into a quarterback today.
This is a good practice for the second team because as you saw in that play, they're having trouble tackling. So I think this is a good practice for them to really work out their flaws.
Yeah, this is we're gonna see the replay again. Oh no, we're not. We're gonna see, wow, look at that. You can see the play and the cheerleaders, the best of both worlds. Upshaw's under center. Excuse me, he's in the shotgun. He's going to take it himself, and he's going to get to the outside. Matt Greenfield is the only one that's going to be able to catch up to him, and he's going to hit him out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Upshaw found a seam. No one was there in front of him. Greenfield, the D-end, coming out of nowhere and getting him. Wow, that's exactly why Matt Greenfield is one of my. That's another one of those unsung heroes, Joe.
Oh yes.
He comes out with fire.
I mean, define unsung hero when you're up 49 points.
Well, we're gonna see the replay. I'll describe it after the replay. Whenever the replay comes, we're gonna. There it is. Upshaw finds a seam and is able to get to the outside. You see Greenfield come from the D-end spot and go and get Upshaw. Upshaw's now in the shotgun again. Wouldn't be surprised if he kept it again. And he's going to. Tries to bounce to the outside again, and he does. But defenders are there this time. He's still on his feet and gets pushed out at the 20-yard line. So that's going to be another first down. So, Alex, you want to know what an unsung hero is. An unsung hero, by definition of Anthony Scudillo, is a player that gives it his all every single down, has plays that aren't on, Sports Center as your top 10, but are championship players. The kids you need as your, pieces to completing the puzzle. That is what an unsung hero is.
Good definition.
So Upshaw's in the shotgun. We're going to see the shotguns for the rest of the game, which is only 18 seconds. He runs up the middle, tries to bounce to the outside, and gets stood up this time. Maybe a gain of 2.
And the game is...
And that's going to conclude the game. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The clock strikes 0. Wayne Hills takes this one by a score of 55-6. Guys, what were your thoughts on the second half? I mean, the first half we saw that it was all, Kevin Olson and Brian Dowling. Joe, what were your thoughts on the second half?
Well, Anthony, very simply, the Wayne Hills ran the ball, they got first downs, and they scored touchdowns.
Oh, Joe, that's a...
Now, also, to add up on that, Kevin Olson impressed me a lot the way he threw the football today, going to his open wide receivers, Eugene Lowe, Brian Dowling, Troy Safino. I mean, he really had a great overall game, and this builds him confidence for the rest of the season.
And I agree with everything Joe said. I think the team played a great game. Bit shaky for the first 5 minutes of the first quarter, but really picked up after that. Olsen had a great game. The running just 5 yards to carry at least. Fantastic.
Yeah, Alex. Joe, I have to agree with you again, 100%. We saw tonight that Kevin Olsen was able to establish the fact that he can really throw the ball. We saw no overthrows tonight.
Oh, kid's got an arm.
Oh, the kid does have a gun. And when he can, utilize it to its, ability, it's fantastic. Now, if you had to say one thing that Hills, really improved and one thing that, they need to improve upon, what would it be?
Yeah, they're pretty good. They don't have to improve on anything.
I don't know. I think they really improved the passing game with Kevin today, and the running game was fantastic. I think they're really, really pretty good today. I don't think they need to improve on anything.
I have to agree again. I mean, this was a tune-up for, the Ramapo St. Joe's game, and so are the next 3 games. So that's going to do it from Patriot Stadium. On behalf of the TV crew, Alex Green, Joe Rapp, John Vittas, and I'm forgetting a million other people. I'm Anthony Scudillo. Thanks for watching.